Okay. Hey, how's it going? I hope everybody's doing well out there. I'm just kind of checking over here to make sure everything is coming up appropriately. Hopefully, audio is good. Hopefully, the audio and the video are better synchronized today. Though I think I've seen a couple people talking about some buffering issues. Hopefully that doesn't continue to do that. That sucks. Buffering's never any fun for anyone. So, how's everybody doing? Would love to get a quick check, make sure everything. Okay, past the buffering. Vaz says sound and audio is good and in sync. That's awesome. Really glad to hear that. I think what had happened last week when we were having all of the issues is I had so many things plugged into this little mini PC that I think I was just overwhelming the USB bus. So I didn't know I could do that with just a few things, but I did. So here we are. Yeah, that's good. I'm glad everybody's able to at least see and hear me okay. Thank you very much for checking or for helping me with that little check there. What is this? Oh, weird. Okay. Sorry, just a new thing popped up on the chat that I'm looking at up here in my teleprompter, and I just wanted to see what it was. So, yeah, the video a little out of sync. The video is a little out of sync. That's so weird. Man, I don't know. It's so inconsistent. I think I've got a new mini PC, either the one that I've got over here that I need to review this week, or one that's coming hopefully in the next couple of weeks. That has more USB stuff available to it. So hopefully that'll give it more lanes and whatnot. So we're just going to keep rolling with it. I think usually if I see this when I'm making a video, I can fix it in post, but unfortunately I can't do that here. So this video, we're gonna take a look at a few different things. Of course, the thumbnail, the title of the video was for MOS or MOS. I'm not sure if I think because there's no periods in there, they're calling it MOS, which is Modular Operating System for Servers and Homelabs. We're gonna go into this completely blind. I have not done anything other than look through the website and read some of the documentation on this. So we're going to take a look at that at some point here relatively soon. We're definitely going to do that. Also, we're going to be installing that. Yeah, this is very new. MOS is very, very new. It is still like early beta, like 0.1.16, I think. Like early beta, and that's why we're going to take a look at it now, just so we can kind of, see what it does, see what it doesn't do, and get an idea of, what kind of things we want to see out of it. Maybe we can help them get some more eyes on it. This is all linked in the video description if you want to check that out and kind of dig through the documentation on the website yourself, rather than waiting on Dummy here to finally get to the section that you want to know more about. Also, I'm going to switch over to that. There it is. This is the new B-Link ME Pro, and this is a mini PC, but it's really in a NAS form factor. You may have seen this. Couple of hard drive bays here, Oliver I/O on the back, and then there's more under here that we will get to as well. Here on the bottom. This is the hardware we're going to put it on. We're going to throw a couple of 8 terabyte Seagate Barracudas in here. I know that these aren't necessarily going to be ideal for like NAS related things, because those are compute, not long-term storage style NAS drives. I had some 10 terabytes I was going to throw in there, but I realized I couldn't get to them in a timely enough fashion to actually be ready to have them for this live stream. So I grabbed these 8 terabyte drives. We're going to use these. It'll be fine, at least for what we're doing here. And then if you've been catching the live streams for any length of time at all, you'll know that there is kind of an ongoing gimmick or gag or thing where at about 11:30 to 11:40 every morning that we're out here, at least my time, so about an hour and a half from now, is when Mrs. DB Tech would be bringing me some tea. It started as just kind of one of those random things, and then it just kind of turned into a shtick where about 11:30, people start asking where my tea is. Here recently, a company called CloudyTree Tea reached out, and they sent me this. Well, they sent me this is the cup. This is 32 ounces. This is their lychee tea that I haven't really had a chance to check out yet. But they sent me a big care pack full of all kinds of different types of tea, and I told them that I would give one of them a try on the live stream. So probably here in a few minutes after we get kind of settled in and everybody's here hanging out. I'll give that an honest review, which I know is weird to give a tea review on a tech channel on a live stream for an operating system and some hardware. But we just do weird stuff here sometimes. So yeah, let's see. A nice problem to have 8 terabyte drives sitting around doing nothing. Look, I'm aware. I'm super aware of that. That I do have a bit of that I'm very lucky in what I get to do here, and I'm lucky that you guys get, or you guys get. I'm very lucky that you guys continue to come back and hang out with me on the weekends and watch the content that I put out during the week and that sort of thing. The video that I released this week wasn't something I planned on releasing, but I was kind of on the struggle bus that day with my mental health. And I've been planning some stuff for the channel. I've been working on things in the background, trying to come up with some ideas to make my content better. And of course, that video didn't do well. I didn't expect it to do well as far as views are concerned. But the outpouring of support really meant a lot to me. So again, just to summarize that video, my plan for this year is to not make a video for the sake of just making a video. There were a lot of videos that I made over the last several months that were just because I needed to make a video so that YouTube would stay happy with me. And I feel like that's being disingenuous if I'm trying to make a video about something I don't care about. You guys are smart enough to see that and recognize that. So I want to make sure that this year is focused on content that I actually care about. And hopefully as a result, you guys will also care about. So that video, again, that's kind of the point of the video that I released this week. It surprisingly only had one nasty comment on that video that I released, or that actually just came through in the last hour or so. I gave them a response and then hid their comments from ever showing up again. So that's just what I have to do on that sort of thing. So let's go back up here. That's what makes the live streams good. I appreciate that. Tuning in for the CloudBot demos. That may come up at some point. I think part of one of the things that I want to do, not necessarily for the sake of content, but just for the sake of educating myself, is getting more knowledgeable about the AI stuff that's out there, so I can have a better understanding of what's going on. I think it's important, as somebody in the tech sphere who talks about home labs and the occasional self-hosted AI and that sort of thing. I think it's important for me to educate myself on some of the stuff that's going on. And there are a few people like in the Discord that are very into it and very knowledgeable about it, who have offered to hook me up with some of their knowledge. So I don't know when or if the CloudBot demos will happen. I've seen some gnarly stuff that's happened as a result of them that I don't want to subject myself to. So if I do it, it will probably be on a VPS somewhere. There's been some chatter about that in the Discord a little bit. So we'll see what happens there. Not much better than a good glass iced tea. I agree with that. I'm a big fan. With other tech YouTubers reviewing alcohol. Yeah. Mental says hello from Sweden. Glenn says, I know you're focused mostly on home labs, but I'd also be interested in Linux videos as I'm actively working on de-Microsofting my life. Yeah, I've considered switching over to Linux. But sorry, my brain buffered there for a second. But a lot of the applications that I use in my day-to-day life with regards to like editing and recording and that sort of stuff are all kind of dependent on Windows. I know I could just have a VM or something that would work, but I've tried that in the past, and I found myself getting frustrated with Linux. And I know Linux has come a long way, but I find myself getting frustrated with that kind of stuff because I want certain things to just work, and if they don't, I get frustrated, and it throws off my whole groove as far as what I'm trying to do. So yeah, we'll see. Like, I've done some videos in the past about Linux, but most of those were about virtualizing it, though, so I don't know if that necessarily counts. But yeah, I definitely appreciate the idea for content. I'm not saying no. I'm just not sure when or if. Let's see. Jason says I need to do the same with AI, especially local AI. Yeah, same. JD, who's often here in these live streams on the chat and very active in the Discord, is super knowledgeable about the local AI stuff as well, and was giving me some tips and pointers this morning about it. So I may start picking his brain a little bit, hopefully without pissing him off too much. But yeah, so that's kind of where things are at the moment. Glenn says, I'm setting up a mini PC to use Fusion 360 and only Windows app. That makes sense. Come to the dark side, you'll never return Mac. Yeah, here's the thing about Mac, though. Like, I love the idea of Mac OS and iOS and how all of it works together. I think what they've done is very, very cool. They're making their own chips, which I think is great, because then they can really make sure everything works even better together. And I love what they've done. However, the issue that I have with it is they very deliberately lock you into their ecosystem in ways that make it difficult to get away from. And that sucks, of course, because they manage the entire pipeline of software and hardware and all of that sort of stuff. They charge exorbitant prices and call themselves brave for doing stuff that Windows and Android have had for a decade. So I'm while I love the idea of how efficient Mac OS is and how everything works together very, very cleanly, I think that's amazing. But I don't want to contribute to something like that. And look, I know I'm a hypocrite for using Microsoft. The difference is I don't pay for my mini PCs that come with Microsoft. I don't pay for the operating systems that I'm using because they come on the devices. Like, there have been a few times where I've bought, a cheap license for something, but yeah, I'm apprehensive to switch for any number of reasons. I know this is a tool at the end of it. Use what works for your use case. Yep. Mac is the same spy problem as Microsoft. I actually didn't know that. I've heard of some sketchy stuff that they've done working with law enforcement and that sort of thing, but I don't remember any of the details on it, and it could just be my brain making stuff up. The Joshua 3D says, I still have that extra Mac Mini to send you. I'm not saying no. It would probably blow away anything else that I have in that size. But if I'm being honest, I feel that makes me, this is a me issue, I want to be very clear. It makes me feel weird because I'm already in kind of a privileged position to be receiving like all of this hardware from vendors, than to have somebody in the audience be like, hey, here's something. I don't know, man. I'm honored, I'm flattered, I'm all of that. But I don't know, it just kind of gives me a weird feeling. And I know that's definitely a me issue, but just Alexia is here. Thanks for hanging out. Really appreciate having you here, Mandy. Jason says, I like my M4 Mini. It's a middle ground for me. Like, I can turn off all of Apple Intelligent. That's cool. Take him up on the Mac Mini and just try it. The first hit is free, right? Isn't that it? Like, here's the thing. Like, I have an iPhone X, and I have an pod of some variety. With the iPhone X, I got for a collaboration that ended up not going through. And the reason it didn't go through was because they told me I needed an iPhone X to do the thing, but then but then it turned out that the reason I got it so cheap is that it was a rebuild or remanned phone, and the front-facing camera ID module where it like scans your face didn't work, and that's what the app that I was going to be, or that's what the company that I was going to be collaborating with needed, was that camera. But they didn't tell me that. They didn't give me any information other than you need an iPhone. And I sent them the link of the iPhone I was looking at on eBay. They said, hey, that looks good, and then it all kind of fell apart after I dropped a couple $100 that I didn't really want to. So it is what it is, right? Vaz says, told you once, we'll tell you again, get a PO box available again. You know, I had a PO box set up for about 6 months, and I got a few packages there, but I don't know that it was, I don't know, like it seemed like a business expense that wasn't paying itself. There was no return on investment as far as that was concerned. There was only I only received a few packages there. Of course, I could only go in and get my packages when the place was open. It was a lot of effort. But maybe I do need to do it again. I don't know. We'll see. It's the old M1 Mini. Cool. So that's that, I suppose. So let's take a look at this. We're going to take a look at this tea. It's very pretty. I like it. It actually kind of looks like beer, but it's not. It's the Lychee Black Tea. I did a cold brew. It was sitting in a thing overnight in my fridge so that it could steep and do its thing. And we're going to try it. We're going to see how it goes. And the glass straw, which I have mixed feelings on, but whole thing, very glass, very nice, feels good, but okay. It's very light, it's very nice. Kind of has a honey tone to it. Kind of a sweetness to it without being overpowering. It's good. It's kind of refreshing, but it's kind of got a subtle thickness because of the flavor, not because of like it's very much just straight tea, but it kind of the honey undertones give it kind of a thick taste to it. Yeah, that's really good. Definitely check it out. Sorry, I got to check this real quick. Oh, geez. All kinds of stuff here. Holy cow. Catherine Killebrew just joined over on Patreon. I apologize for giving a full name there. It just kind of startled me. Thank you so much for that. That was really nice. Pedro says, do you plan on visiting the HomeLab Launchpad project at some time in the future? I do. The problem is me. It really is. As much as I want to go back to it, I keep banging my head on a wall. Like I've got a bunch of script ideas ready for the next several videos, and I need to get them written or finished up. They're mostly written. I need to get them finished up. But I get in a weird funk this time of year, and I think a lot of it has to do with a response to 2016, which I know was 10 years ago. But it was only, here in a couple of weeks will be the 10th anniversary of when I was hospitalized for 6 months. And this time of year kind of screws with my brain. So I'm hoping that I can kind of push through that and do some of that content, because I know a lot of people subscribed and I released like 1 or 2 videos and then ghosted, and I feel like a bag of dicks for that. But I will hopefully get back to it soon. How much of PO box is there per month? $20 or $30, I think, per month, which I know isn't a huge thing, but I don't know. I probably should do it. Yeah, PO Box is a good privacy tool. I use it when I have to list an address that's publicly disclosed. Yeah, and the reality is, I probably should. I've had some companies reach out to me that I gave them my address, and it's been fine so far. But who knows what may happen in the future? So I really should. I really should probably do it. I just need to do it. Olive Llama. There we go. My brain took a second to process that. Says morning. Well, good morning to you. Video froze for you. That's weird. Everything looks good on my end, I think. I'm not seeing any freeze. Is it just me? Jason says yes, refresh. Okay. Yeah, no, everything here seems to be going fine. Jason says that he's not having any issues there. So that's good. Yeah, I guess refresh the screen. Mirandi13 is here, says hello all. Well, thank you so much for hanging out. Glad to see you here. Looks good on your side. Good. Glad to hear it. Really, really glad to hear it. So let's take a look real quick. Let's jump over. In fact, let me ask you this here. Would you rather start by taking a quick look at the hardware or a quick look at the software that we're going to take a look at today? Because we're going to do both. Would you rather see hardware or software first before we merge them? Some random dude says, I have so many tech projects I want to complete, but never find the time to actually do them. You're not alone. Right, dude, it's rough some days. Hardware first, says Glenn. Software first, says Peter. A newbie here, just wanted to appreciate you and your videos. Well, thank you, Olive Llama. I appreciate that. Let's see. Damn, Vaz. Holy crap. Thank you so much for gifting 10 memberships. Holy crap. I wish I had something that would subs towards a P.O. box. All right. How about a poll? That's a good idea. I didn't even, let's do this. Which hardware first, software first? Cool. Start poll. I don't know how that's going to work, but there's a poll up at the top of the screen. Either one is fine. Mirandi, great idea there. All right, so we're getting some information there. That's cool. We'll hang out a little bit while that does its thing for a bit. These numbers are all over the place. That's good. I don't know how long these last. So there's that. I don't know how long these last. That is really good. It's very light. It's non-confrontational, I think is the way I would put that. Just kind of a nice, chilled, semi-sweet thing going on there. The delay is wild. Interesting. What delay? Some random dude. I'm curious. Thanks for the... Yep. I agree with that. So we're at a 50-50 split here. Or I have no idea how long these last. But we are we are definitely we keep leaning hardware, and then somebody else votes the poll. Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, there's like a 30-second delay or something. Yeah, so there's about a 30-second delay between what's actually going on and when you guys get it. The other thing, Glenn's got a good point there. I think I've got this on like the moderate delay. I've got it on low latency. There's also normal latency. But then like the ultra low latency actually disables some things. So it's definitely a YouTube thing as far as some of that latency is concerned. All right, so we've got 24 votes. and we're leaning hardware first. Francisco Javier says, greetings, D. Always looking forward to your videos. Warm regards from Venezuela. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I always love it when you guys come in and tell me where you're from. It's kind of an intriguing thing for me to see where you guys are all from. Like I know I've got people in like Sweden and Germany and just, like literally just all over the world, and it blows my mind how diverse the community here is. From Norway says Crazy Finn, hi DB. Well, thank you so much. We got David from Ireland. That's very cool. Never been to most of those places. I've only been out of the country a couple of times, and it was to Scotland. We got Sweden here, Norway here as well. All right. Comment, don't talk about the Swedes don't like. From Miami, Florida. I was in Miami once in like 2009. The food was amazing. I spent a lot of time eating Cuban food when I was in Miami, and that was awesome. New Zealand checking in. That's amazing. Glenn all over today in Grand Junction. That's cool. You're like 80 to 100 miles north of me from right now. We've got Jamaica and Portugal. Holy crap, dude. Florida, Mexico, man, you guys really are all over the world, and I love that. Thank you guys so much for sharing that. Kendall, says he's from Pennsylvania. That's cool. Very, very cool, guys. Very cool. All right. Look, hardware is walking away in a landslide here. Eugene, Oregon area just randomly froze. All right. Well, I'm glad you got it sorted. Simple Finance Bites. Glad to have you back. Silicon Valley. That's cool. I've never been there, I don't think. BK Rita says, keep up the great work. Thank you very much. Netherlands and Texas. Dang. All over the place. Love it. Love it. So, I tell you what, let's take a look at the hardware first. Since we've swung way into that. Greetings from Spain. Everything's going really well with my health right now. Thank you so much for asking. It's going pretty well. Appreciate that. For me, I can't power everything on without investing in an air conditioner to keep the temps down. I get that, especially in the summer out here. I've got no air in here. This is part of my garage. So sometimes I've got a fan that I can turn on, or I've got a heater that I can turn on, and those are my only options. So in the summer, it's brutal out here, but in the winter, it's equally brutal, just the other direction. Luckily, I think we've got a high of about 40 to 45 degrees Fahrenheit today, which is, like 3 or 4 degrees Celsius. Attic temps peaked at 38°C when we had to start powering things down. That's too hot. That is too hot. So, but luckily, it's going to be pretty nice out here today. I should be all right. I did decide to put on the Henley today just to have a little extra warmth. Tech Guy Lance, thank you so much for that, for gifting 5 memberships. Super appreciate you for that. And of course, for being here, not just for that. All right. Well, we've got 34 votes. We've swung real hard to hardware first. So let's switch over to my top-down camera here, and we're going to take a look at this. So, like I said, this is the Beelink ME Pro. This is tiny when you compare it, because. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself here. So on the front, we've got a USB 2, we've got a power button, we've got a couple of lights there, I think. Nothing on the side, or just a little Beelink branding there, like they like to do. Nothing there. We're going to get to the bottom here in a moment, but what I love about this is that this pops off, and there are your 2 drive bays. Or let me rephrase that, two of your drive bays. LabWorks Karma says, never heard of Dev 1 before. Debian without System D is tempting, right? I'm curious about it. I've never used it. I had never heard of it prior to seeing this MOS operating system. I know you guys can't see me. I had to reconfigure some things. There's more reconfiguring going to happen later today. So you'll just have to listen to my voice while we do some of this. So this is drive bay 1. We can actually see it says 1 right there. There we go. So we'll unpeel this. Oops, geez, I sure screwed that up. Man, that is really stuck. And then we can open this box and see what we've got in here. We've got an HDMI cable, so that's handy to have. And we've got some screws and an Ethernet cable. So kind of all of the stuff you would need to get going as far as that's concerned. So I guess we can just set this. Is that not gonna, oh, no, that's not gonna work. It has to go this way. Come on, smart guy, you got this. Yeah. Okay, so that's gonna go that way. 8 terabyte drive going there. I like, they didn't follow Apple's design for the M4 Mac Mini where the power button is located on the bottom of the case. Right. I have a spare ASRock BC250. I might follow along and try this inside of Proxmox. Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, I've actually, so what's this? Oh, this actually says for the 3.5 inch drive, so that's good. So we're going to dump some screws out here. Come on. There we go. And I'm just going to put a couple of these in to hold it in place. I don't feel the need to put all of the screws in. Hopefully. Oh, come on, really? Oh, it uses the same screw heads as everything else, which is interesting. So they're not the screws for the hard drives anyway are not your typical Phillips head screws. These use like an Allen key kind of thing there, which I know is way out of focus because it's small and whatever. So we're going to do this. All right, well, there's drive 1. We'll just slide that in like so. Like that. There we go. This one can come out now. Maybe. Ugh, come on. What in the heck? I don't understand what is... Jeez. Holy cow, that was unnecessary. That did not want to come out. And I dropped a screw in there somewhere. There it is. There it is. I see it. It's right there. All right, so that's going to go there. I lost another screw somewhere, I think. It's right there. There we go. Hex screws maybe. So it's actually, I can show you. If we flip this over to the bottom, right, there's this, and it's just got this little Allen key. Like it's a tiny little, just a tiny little Allen key. And it stores right there, right? So you got the one tool you need for the whole thing attached to it, which I think is great. But if I'm honest, this is so small. I've dropped it so many times, kind of looking through here to get familiar with it before we did the live stream. So it's not, it's clever the way they did it. It's kind of unwieldy because it's so small. So there's our second tray. And then over here, we've got our power brick. And I hate these power bricks. I do. I talked about it in a previous video. Because depending on where this plugs in, you've got a lot of weight on like just kind of hanging on the wall, or on your plug, on your power strip, whatever. I would rather have this brick be farther down the line and just have two prongs that then go to that further down the line, so that there's less things pulling on your power cable. So I don't like these, but they keep doing it. And look, it's not just B-Link doing this. In fact, they've sourced this out to Hunt Key. But it's 19 volts, 5.26 amps, so about 100 watts. of potential power here. So there's that. I'm going to set that aside so that we can then throw this other drive into here, like so. And again, I'm only going to put 2 of these screws in because that's really all it needs for what I'm doing here. I keep 12-inch extension cords for the dreaded power bricks. That's not a terrible idea. I can't even use that brick in an extender. Yeah, like I don't know why they've decided to start doing this. And again, I'm not trying to just pick on B-Link. You know, the rack that's up here, all of them have that same power brick style, which is just I dislike it so much. But it's what manufacturers are doing right now as part of their thing. Oh, geez, that is crooked. Let's try that again. Cool, good enough. 2 screws in there, should be fine. So we'll set the boxes aside. Bring this over to here. Oops, we got to get the tray lined up in there just right. There we go, and that slots in now. Here's where things get kind of fun, right? So we're going to flip this over to the bottom. I'm just going to pull this off. I don't care about that right now. I'm going to, and again, I love that all of these are the same. It really does make things a lot easier. But then you can pull this off, and hey, look, this is where our NVMe drives go. This has got one 512 gig drive in it presently. This has got Windows 11 Home on it, which I find interesting. So I'm going to come over to here. There we go. And I'm actually going to replace it with this. I don't even know what brand this is, but it's a 500 gig drive. I'm going to throw that in there so that we can save this for later when I do the actual review, full review of the thing. And here is where they have slipped, because these have have standard Phillips head screws on them. So if they had taken it just that final step, but now I got to bring a screwdriver into the mix here. Let's see, unboxing a gaming PC. Yeah, Windows Home, right? You know, I will say that a lot of, honestly, most of the devices that I've received have been Windows 11 Pro, which I think has been great. I actually want to look at this too, because it's going to be real hard for you guys to see what this says right here. Says M.2 PCIe 3.0 by 2, and then the other 2 are PCI 3.0 by 1. So your higher performance drive is probably going to go in that first one. So we're going to put our boot drive there. That's going to be our 500 gig drive. Oops, wrong screwdriver there. Hopefully. There we go. I use a 5-tail heavy-duty power splitter and Gorilla tape the wall words to each of the tails. I have done stuff like that. I think I've got a three-way split for one of those. Okay, so this one is a 500 gig drive. While we're at it, let's go ahead and just throw a couple of 1 terabyte drives in here as well. Then we can completely fill things up here. You know, actually, I'm going to take this off. We're going to do one more thing before we do that, and then we'll come back to this. Probably a cost thing. Yeah, it could be. It could be. So we're going to set these 2 drives over here. I'm going to flip this over. We're going to take these 4 screws out, because this is where things get a little bit interesting as far as I'm concerned, with regards to the B-Link ME Pro. This. Do that. And we'll do that. And then that lifts out. So you got your hard drives here, and effectively this is the mini PC. that slides out. And what makes this interesting is that, let's actually come back over to my desktop real quick. Let's go over here. We're going to do B-Link ME Pro, like this. So the one we're working with right now is this one. It's the Intel N95 12 gig with the 512 gig SSD. Yeah, it is modular, and that's what I love about it. You know, here's an example of an iPhone 17 Pro Max next to it, but it looks like they may be creating replaceable platters or replaceable modules or whatever you want to call them here, so that there's going to be, like, we've got the Intel version, but it looks like they're also maybe working on some ARM and some AMD modules that you can slide in and out of these. Now, I haven't seen that yet. I haven't seen anything about when these are actually going to be released, but if they come up with new versions in the future, updated CPUs, those sorts of things, you should be able to just slide, basically just slide this tray out and slide a new tray in. And what's great about this is that, like, your barrel jack adapter is there. So if this changes with the new version, you can do that very, very quickly and easily. So I love the modular design on this. I think it was really well thought out. But yeah, so that's that. I wanted to share that little modularity thing with you because I think it's a neat thing that they're doing there. So we're going to go ahead and put these drives in over here. Again, these are going to be our 1 terabyte drives that I think are probably from the same manufacturer as this other no-name drive that I've got. I don't remember where I got them. They probably came out of a mini PC I did a review on at some point. But it's nice to have them laying around here so that I can do this. Let me make sure, yep, that's the right one. Oops, and flip that over. So in theory, we should be able to have about 9 terabytes of hard drive space in this if we set up our RAID appropriately. We can hopefully set up 2 different storage pools and kind of RAID these hard drives up here. So we'll see. Again, we're going into this pretty much blind. I haven't actually set this up yet. I haven't done anything with either of these, the hardware or the software up to this point. Nice click into there. I'm not worried about that right now, but I do want to get this on the bottom because these have, I thought there'd be some sort of appeal on those. They do have the pads here, so that we can do that, and this will help dissipate the heat on the on those NVMe drives. So, yeah, I agree. Oh, the cooling strip crooked. Yeah, yeah, sometimes those things happen, and I don't feel like dealing with it right now. And now it's been locked up forever. And then we can place this back into there. I love the design, seems well thought out. I agree, makes it super versatile, agree. Can't wait for the ARM version. Kind of surprised to hear that, if I'm being honest. To do the ideal case for a remote backup system. That's actually what I was thinking about doing with this, was setting this up like kind of a backup buddy solution. I've been chatting with somebody in Discord who it was actually his idea to do like a backup buddy thing for like an offsite backup, where I don't know the logistics of it yet, but basically hardware would go on his network that I would have access to, and I could back up my stuff there, and then I would have hardware here that he could have access to and back up to remotely, probably over like Tailscale or Zero Tier or one of those kinds of things. But we haven't gotten that far, and most of that was because I was waiting on this piece of hardware because I think it's very, very cool, and I really wanted to try it out. So, yeah, so, no, it's fine. Okay, so what I want to do now is find, that was a weird unnecessary focus. This, put that back on there. Like so, maybe. Good, no. Oh, we are. There we go. All right, so this, I think we're good to go on this. So what I need to do now, oh geez, it's so heavy, is take down the Zima board. Originally, this was what I was going to do this with, was the Zima board. But then I was like, I've already got hardware, or I've already got a server running on this. I don't want to screw that up. And then decided to use the this B-Link for it, for what we're doing today. I want to get rid of this. Right. Come on. There we go. And let's see. So apparently Brave and YouTube are fighting again. I mean, I'm not terribly surprised by that, given that Brave is kind of the go-to for ad blocking for people these days. So that doesn't necessarily surprise me, but I haven't read anything about it, so I don't have anything to go with that. That would work pretty well for a Docker with Garage and Tailscale. To do a remote S3 backup to my Veeam server. I've heard a lot of people talk about Veeam and how they really like it, and then I remember there was a big kerfuffle with some of their stuff getting compromised or something, and then it kind of fell out of favor for a lot of people. But I've never used it. I don't know anything about it other than the little bits that I've read about with it. So let's just dangle that for right now. Guess we can dangle those. That's why they're fighting. Every vid I click says it's not available and then reloads and plays. Interesting. So yeah, no, they're very aware of the browser agent that Brave is apparently using and going out of their way to make lives difficult for those people using it. I've got that backwards. This needs to go this way, like so. Oh, I didn't mention this, and I should have, but let me come over here. This actually has a 2.5 gig LAN and a 5 gig LAN. I don't know why, but that's what they did. 2.5 gig and 5 gig. So 80 to 90% of 4500 is being interesting. Let's come back over to here and let's get this plugged in. We're just gonna have some cables dangling, I think, and that's fine. We're gonna plug in to, all right, come on. We're gonna go to here. And then we're gonna plug in an HDMI. And this is actually gonna go to there. All right. Cool. So that's ready to go. Let's see. Sorry about interrupting, but what are we talking about today? We're talking about MOS, which is Modular Operating System, which is this right here. We're just getting some hardware set up so that we can try to install it. I haven't ever installed it. We're going into this almost completely blind, minus some of the stuff that I've read about it. It's been stable on Firefox. Interesting. The fact that Veeam is Windows only was a deal breaker. I could see that. Lost all trust in Veeam a couple of years ago. I did so many disaster recoveries since a couple of years when Veeam got compromised and everyone's backups. I think that's probably what I heard about. There's a 1-foot extension that you can buy for that. It's been a good long time, but not so much. Yep, Jason's got it there. So we're gonna start digging into this a little bit. We went over this a little bit. This is the B-Link ME Pro. This is the 2-bay hybrid NAS. The unit that we've got has the N95 with 12 gigs of LPDDR5, which means it's soldered in this case. And it got a 512 gig hard drive that I pulled out and genuinely have no idea where others. It's over here. Took that out. There it is. Yep. Veeam can be installed as a standalone appliance as well. So at this point, we're over here. We're going to take a look at this. So if you're not familiar with this, which I would expect you wouldn't be because it is so very, very new. MOS, let me zoom in a little bit, make it a little easier to read here. MOS, Modular Operating System for Servers and Homelabs, based on Duv1 and reliably and resource-friendly web UI with monitoring, storage, and shares users, networking, notifications, web terminal plus Docker, LXCs, VMs, modular and extensible. It is all open source, which I love. Open source AGPL v3, and they've got their GitHub over here with different releases. If we come over to here, there's some other stuff going on here, but all of the stuff that you would need with regards to MOS is going to be linked somewhere here on their website with releases and documentation. So they got system and hardware info, CPU, RAM, disks, sensors, storage pools, and shares managed centrally. Docker, LXC, VM, visible depending on active service, real-time notifications, web terminal, and tools for quick action. What MOS covers, there's a web UI overview, a network start, first pools, first containers, shares, installation. Like all of these are links that will take us to different bits of documentation about what each of those different things are. Features that matter in everyday use, monitoring and status, storage pools and shares. This is all stuff that we read above. Containers and virtualization, web terminal and tools, notifications, plugins, and extensibility, settings and services, multilingual and theme. They've got dash. So again, this is all really good stuff. If we take a look, come on, there we go. This is what it should look like at some point. The power plug is a barrel plug. It is. However, like I mentioned a moment ago, if we scroll down, it looks like they're going to at some point make additional trays or modules or whatever you want to call these. That may change in the future depending on what you find. Yeah, it is a big wallboard. It's ugly, and I had kind of went on a bit of a rant about how I don't like it. Again, it's not just B-Link doing this. It's a lot of different manufacturers are doing this. So I'm getting a link. Ultra. This is it. That's the one. So I'm getting a link. Somebody asked for a link to the screwdriver. It didn't. No, give me the link. Copy. All right, there's the screwdriver I've got. That is an affiliate link. Affiliate link. I've wanted one of these for a really long time. Because like it's got, you guys hadn't seen this yet, top down. So like this, it's got all these bits in here, right? They're just all kinds of different sizes of bits and whatnot. And then like this, I can pull out of here and figure out this goes here, right? And it says what each one is and all of that, which is great. But then you can put it in here, push it down. Oh, that sucks. Here I was trying to show off. Luckily, they're all from right there, and I will fix that later. That's embarrassing. But basically, this goes in here, locks into place, and then this also goes in, and then like, as long as you don't shake it real hard, everything will stay where it belongs. But that was me being very overzealous there. So there you go. Listen for the click. Yeah. So that's that. Yeah, right. Oops. Yeah. I'll fix it later. I was shaking it pretty hard there. So I'm not even going to hold that against them. So anyway, so this is what we should end up with at some point, hopefully during this live stream, is something that resembles something like this. But here we can see dashboard down kind of this left side, disks, pools, shares, MOS hub or MOS hub, Docker, LXCs, VMs, users, web terminal plugin settings, and log out. One of the things that I find interesting about this is installation for this is a little weird, right? Like we're gonna have our little USB drive here, and I'm just gonna plug that in. And it says we need to prepare the USB disk. We need to format the USB stick as FAT32 and set the label or name to MOS. I don't know why all of that is necessary, but apparently it is, and it's not showing up here. So let's drag this over. Let's go to disk manager. Hopefully that'll get me where I want to be. There we go. Scroll down. Interesting. It's not recognizing that drive at all. That's fun. Let's try plugging it in here, see if that changes anything. Of course, it's upside down. See if that changes anything here. Oh, hey, there it is. All right, cool. Interesting. I can't. Let's delete that. Yeah, that's fine. Maybe. There it goes. Can I do? I can't do anything with that. Oh, yes, I can. CMD. List disk. Select disk 3. Clean. Cool. There we go. Now I can come back over here. New simple volume. Next. That's fine. That's fine. File system needs to be. Oh, interesting. I don't know if I can do this on here all of a sudden, because it says it needs to be FAT32. I may have just screwed myself here. I don't have. Guess we're going to try this. I mean, I guess I could probably do it. Could probably do it via command line, right? Format USB CMD FAT32. Can Raspberry Pi Imager do that? Interesting, I guess. Let's try that. Raspberry Pi Imager. But here's the. Oh, is that all I need to do? Is just that. I also need to see this, and this is where I've fallen short with my commands. You need to format a tool or manual. Let's do this. Oops. Where? Interesting. Let's close. Come on. Disk part. Yes, there it is. All right. List disk, select disk 3. But I also need to give it, there's one other part there. I need to give it a label. So that should just be like label equals MOS, right? Does that look right? Do a clean, then create the primary partition. Yeah, but it has to have the label with label. I think format, sign letter I don't care about, but I need to give it a label. Let's try this. You can add the label in File Explorer. All right, that's good to know if this doesn't work. Great. Format. Can I? Cancel. Just label equals new name. That's kind of what I thought. Oh shit. All right, let's copy that. I need to select the disk first. There's no volume select. I need to create a volume first. And look, this is very much where I have fallen out. Okay, let's try this. Copy. When I pasted that, it didn't like that. Oh, I see. Come on, really? It's doing inserts here. This is really frustrating. Jan, thank you so much for gifting memberships there. I really appreciate that. Why is it doing that? It keeps throwing this space in there. What the hell? Insert. Okay, there's nothing here that has a space in it. This should be MOS like that. What? Oh, geez. Oh, okay. Really, I got to type all of this out to format. Was that a format tool? Right? Format FS equals FAT32 label equals OS quick. There's no volume. Okay, then we're going to create a volume first, I suppose. Disk manager. Fine. We'll create a volume first. New simple volume. Next. Next. We're just going to do exFAT, I suppose. MOS. Next. Finish. Format. Still can't do that. Okay, well, Raspberry Pi imager it is. I don't understand why Windows sucks so bad these days. Yes. Fine. Next. Accept. Fine. Next. Sure. Let's clutter up my desktop some more. Do that. 2 letters AI, right? And this just tells me or asks me what I want to do here. This doesn't help. All right, fine. Claude, fine. Have a USB drive that is freshly formatted. I need it to be formatted to FAT32 with a label of OS. Like it asks me next. And this is all back. That doesn't help. Erase. There we go. Next. Yep. Next. All right. That's fine. All right. So we're trying. Yeah, I understand that. I've told you that twice now. It seems like Microsoft is just going completely out of their way to make people hate their operating system as much as possible. Right, complete, finish. Cool. Now let's come over to here. Come on, work with me here. Refresh. Now it doesn't recognize. Now it doesn't even recognize the drive. That's outstanding. Damn it! Fuck it. So it says that it. I guess we'll unplug it. Plug it back in. There it is. Okay. Okay, maybe. Properties. FAT32. Tools. No. General. This. Label. Oh, shoot. Of course I screwed that up. Why wouldn't I? MOS, right? Okay. There we go. That should be it, right? What a disaster. You guys, thank you guys. Yeah, okay, we're good. I forget that there's a delay there. We're good as far as that's concerned. Okay, so now we need to download the latest version of the system in a zip archive from the releases section. So we're gonna do that. Disk part, yeah. Cool. So now what we're looking for is releases, right? We're gonna come over to here. This is the newest beta. So we're gonna download this zip file. Which I guess is gonna be that. Okay, so we're gonna open this folder. And then we come over to here. We're gonna open this. We're gonna drag. We're gonna go over to here. We're gonna drag this over to here. We're going to extract here. Of course, it put it in a subfolder, even though I told it not to. That's fun. All right. Yes. I'm glad that you guys are so supportive. Some days I need the extra. Sometimes I need the little extra hand holding here. All right, so we've extracted the downloaded archive directly into the USB stick. No additional imaging tools are required, so they say. Boot from the USB disk. Insert the USB disk into the target machine. Select from the boot menu, and the installation process should start immediately, or can start immediately. That's reassuring. So, because of how my luck has been, I'm going to eject that drive. All right, so that is ejected. Okay, this has the operating system boot configuration on it, in theory. So now what we're going to do, I'm actually going to close this. I'm going to end the poll. That's fine. All right, cool. That's fine. All right, so we're going to plug this in upside down, because they like to do that these days. Right there. Okay. Oops. Ooh. Stay. All right. So the other thing that I need to do here, no, you don't have to make the drive bootable. That's a really good question. So extract the downloaded archive directly onto the USB stick. No additional imaging tools or software are required. This is what it told me to do from the releases section. Like, this is literally what the instructions told me to do. Like, extract the downloaded archives from the releases. This is what it told me to do. And no, Ventoy wouldn't work in this case. Click on Asset. Like, there is source code, and there is source code, and there is nothing else here. This is what they told me to download. Right? That just brings me to here. Like right here, click here for installation to physical media. The disk must be formatted like we did. If I click here, it brings me here to the source code. So I'm following the instructions that were given by there from the assets. This is what I downloaded. This file right here that is highlighted, that's what I downloaded from the assets. Am I missing something? Like assets on the previous page. Is it this? All right. I may stand corrected here. Let's see. All right. Okay. Thank you. I apologize. You were right. I was wrong. I admit that. I apologize. I misread and misunderstood what was going on there. Extract files. Oh, shut up. Their instructions, their instructions need to be updated a little bit, in my opinion, then. So we're going to do this. and extract to there. Because those instructions were misleading. So thank you. Man, did it do that? No. All right, let's try it again. I stand corrected. I always try to acknowledge when I am wrong, and I very much was. So again, thank you. So we're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to go over here, MOS, delete that. I appreciate your willingness to to accept my shortcomings here. All right, so here we've got these files, right? And now I see like EFI and I see grub and I see all of the things that we would expect to see there. So you were absolutely right. We're going to give this a second and we'll see what happens here. I would have given up already. I think in the past I probably would have as well. But like we did the Nextcloud AIO install on a live stream months ago, and the instruction on it were just trash. And so I kind of used that as a point at which, like, I got through that. And so now we're doing. I'm trying to get through this stuff, because again, their instructions weren't great there. Because the file that it told me to download and the file that I actually needed to download were very different files, as you guys pointed out. So yeah, they could definitely work on that a little bit, I think. I wonder if it would have been faster to move the zip file over and then extract it. Whatever, we'll see what happens. Okay, so that's all of that. So again, we're gonna do that. There we go. All right, so plug this back in over here, like that. Now the next thing we need to do is go over to tinypilot.local, and we're gonna do view full screen. Okay. Now this should give us the best opportunity to everybody to be able to see what's going on here. Yeah, they definitely need to make better instructions. I appreciate you're agreeing with me on that. We're going to click that. We've got a button. We're lit up back there. The little button lit up. Beep. I'm hitting delete. I don't know which key will get me in. They don't call it bleeding edge for no reason, right? Interesting. I hit escape. I'm not getting a signal output here. That's no good. I don't know what the beep was. The light is still on. I should be getting something, I would think. Let me make sure that everything is plugged in appropriately. Oh, you know what? I'm not getting any power there. There's our problem, I think. For some reason, this doesn't have any power. Does it need power separate? Shouldn't. The lights are on. It's on 1. That's on 1. What are we on here? That's on 1. Okay. So that should all be working in theory. Whoops. It's our signal booster. I don't know why I'm not getting power here. Why I'm getting network. All of that seems to be fine. We're good there. One of these days I really should get like one of those new nano KVM things. It would probably save me a lot of time and headache. Is this on? Can't tell. Auto power, it says it's on. Is that plugged in? That is. Power here. I'm gonna reboot that, I suppose. We'll give this a minute. Everything gives me the indication that it should first thought is memory. One would think it's soldered memory. I don't know. It could be RAM training. I mean, maybe. Nano KVM is the best. Let me get logged in. No signal. It only beeped the one time. Nano KVM is the best. I've seen a lot of people talk about them. Yeah, memory is soldered on this unit, which doesn't mean it wouldn't need to train, but I feel like it should be giving me something, right? So I'm going to do this. I'm going to plug this back in. I'm going to make sure all of this is doing that. Make sure this is there. That's fine. All right, everything is up and running. So I'm just going to push the button and see if we get any output on this, so that it doesn't have this USB in there. Man, is there another machine kicking around that you can try it in? Yeah, no, I've removed the USB. It's actually sitting up here, but we're not getting a signal. Still no output there. There's no drives in any of those. Just a single beep. I mean, I guess I could throw that Windows drive back in it, unplug everything, curse at it 4 to 6 times, reconnect everything, and it should work. You know, that's not too far off. I don't like the KVM settings, which is true. I agree with that. It might not. That very well could be an issue. All right, well, let's try this. We're gonna hook up this. Move that. Set that there. Man, so much stuff. Oh, that was my plaque. Dang. All right, so let's unplug this, right? Plug this in here. Man, that sucks. I knew that was going to happen. And then plug that in. See if we get a signal on that. Let's make sure nothing. That's all right. I'm going to set this aside somewhere. Okay, so we're not getting a signal on this either. Right? That's plugged. All right, well then, that's good, I suppose. Yeah, I should post to BIOS even without any drives, I agree. So then, reboot the KVM. I just did that. I just rebooted the KVM. This is this doing anything? Oh, this isn't, okay, hold on. This isn't even on. I don't have any lights on it anywhere. Oh, there it goes, maybe. I thought, oh, there is a light on. Okay, so there's that. Let's take that cable and that thing out of the equation there, right? Oh, you know what? It came with this, living life here, the stream, and one monitor, Detroit Ringlands, another monitor, and playing around with Home Assistant MCP server with Claude. Well, that sounds like fun. And that sounds like way more fun than staring at a black screen. All All right, let's undo this. We're gonna bypass part of this stupid setup over here. We're gonna take this out. We're gonna plug that in. And oh, okay. All right, that was something. Okay, so we've established what part of the problem is here. So that's something. Okay. Okay, so that's a good sign. What I really need though is this is still on. So then I unplug this, plug this into there. Hey, look. There we go. So we've established that's a problem. Let's see, can I click next? Okay, so this had Windows. All right, so I don't know that was a bad cable necessarily. It could be a bad cable. There's also a cluster of things back there. So now that we have established that mouse and keyboard are working there, I'm gonna unplug this. I'm gonna plug it back in. All right, so we got somewhere. Yay! All right, this button push white light. That's good. I don't. Yeah. Shut up. No one cares. I don't know what the magic key is here to get into the BIOS. Oh. Okay. No. Bad. Don't do that. Okay. So what we want to do, we actually want to, override to that, right? That's the USB partition. Hey, check it out. There we go. Cool. We're getting somewhere. Hell yeah. That's great. Spam all the keys. All right. We are getting somewhere finally. I feel like that's got to be worth a like. We finally got somewhere. Like that's got to be worth a thumbs up or something, right? So that was fun. Definitely an issue that was going on there. Eureka, I agree. Spam all the keys. More cowbell, right? At least we have no signal to watch, right? There we go. Okay, we're moving to unlike and relike. Oh, that's funny. All right, we are getting somewhere. This is exciting. This is exciting. I'm really stoked on this. Okay, so we've got, hopefully we'll at some point pull an IP address here. I think I've got network plugged into that from something else. Yeah, I do. It's over there. Listening. Is it not going to give me double like? Yeah. Guess we're going to give this a second and see what happens. I may. Okay, so I've got, this is. Hold on. Oh, it doesn't like. Is this another bad cable situation here? I've got no lights on that. Well then, guess we'll just use this as well and see if this gets us anywhere, because it really wants to connect to the internet, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. Oh, interesting. It's got lots of vocal opinions after it boots its web OS only, right? As far as I know, this is literally my first time using this, so I don't know what all is going to happen here, but we're going to find out together. All right, so here's what I need to do, right? I'm going to plug into right here. I'm going to plug in to that. See if that gives us anything. I apologize for you guys not being able to see what's going on here. I don't know if it's got drivers for this. We lit up a little bit. All right, we've got something going on there. Oops. The problem is I don't have, okay, let's see. Okay, so we've done this. That's good. Find the login, right? Docs, installation. Okay, that was creating bootable media, which we did. Quick start. First shares, web UI overview. System startup. Find the login. Let's go login. Okay, this is for a VM. Okay, I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to unplug it, plug it back in, and see if it will pull an IP address that it can show me, and then we'll work backwards, right? So I'm going to unplug, plug back in, power button, get my butt back in the chair, beep. I think it's delete. Delete enter setup. Okay. Back to here. We're going to try this again. Yeah, we're going to do that. That's fine. We're going to give this a second. But I think I'm seeing activity on the back of the device where the network cable is plugged in. I wasn't saying that. Yeah, I said root. Or making your own first login, something I assume. It's hard to say. We've seen this already, so we're going to kind of skip over that. Use cases, security features, quick start. This is going to bring me back over to here. But I need an IP address first, right? Like I need to have it pull an IP. I had it. I guess we're just going to see what happens. See if it's able to find one this time. Oh, there we go. We're on 113. Yeah, okay, so we're bound to 192.168. 168.0.113. Hey, look, it's root. So we're going to... Dang it. All right, we've created a root password. Okay, so now we're going to create a username for logging in. We're going to call it me. All right, so we've got our password. We're gonna create a Samba user there. That's great. Loving this. Language is English, but there's also German. So there's that. The byte unit is binary or decimal. I'm going to say probably binary. We're going to go with dark mode. I know some people are very anti-dark mode, and I apologize for that. Instructions on website was useless. Look, guys, here's the thing. Like, I know where you're coming from here, right? But the thing to keep in mind is this is still so very early on. And I know documentation is obviously very, very important, right? So let's actually come back to here, go to the releases so that we can take another look. This is 0.1.6 beta, like pre-release. So we got to be kind to these guys. They're creating something new, something different. So I want to make sure that we're being considerate. They've got a lot going on, and this live stream could make that worse. And if they ever see this, I want to apologize to them for that. Yeah, it says nothing about first boot, right? Look, and this is why we're doing this, is to kind of figure some stuff out, right? Yeah, dark mode. I love dark mode. I think dark mode is also a plus, but if you're watching a video in dark mode, and maybe you've got an older monitor or you've got bad eyes, the white text on the black background for some people is very hard to read. And I try to be considerate of that sometimes, but sometimes I miss the mark. I actually really like that color choice. All right, so we've got our username, we've got our password, we've created our root. Let's click finish. Let's see what happens. All right, here we go. So I'm going to give it my login and my password. Okay. All right, here we go. Rather than myself, it says nothing. Okay, yeah. Without the chat, we would be lost. Yeah, no, I would be lost if it wasn't for you guys right now. All right. So we can kind of see what's going on here. We can see that we're on an Intel N95, Family 6, Model 190. We can see our min-max temperature, our cores are all here. Network is doing its thing. One of the things I really appreciate about this, and I never considered, is that like on some systems, TerraMaster, I think, is the biggest offender of this, though it hasn't disqualified me from liking their stuff. Sometimes they'll have your network interface over here with your public IP address, and that's stupid. I hate that. Oh, we can, let's, hell yeah. Oh, none of that information is available. We're gonna do it anyway, just cause. And I'm gonna refresh the page. All right, cool. So we're on our dashboard, right? Disks, neat. So we have our disks here. We've got our boot disk. Oh, interesting. So it does boot from the USB drive, it looks like. Right? That's okay. That was something I wasn't aware of. And I know that it's Unraid that does that. And I think Unraid is getting ready to like do it differently, or like the normal way. Yeah, Unraid. Okay, thank you for Saken. Thank you for validating that belief for me. So this 500 gig drive was unnecessary for what we're doing here. Let's see. So we can sleep, we can wake up, we can format. Okay, file system. Okay, so we can do ext4, XFS, ButterFS, or VFAT. So we've got some options there. I don't want to do anything with that, but it's nice to see that we do have options here. And I like that we can manually control the sleep and wake. That's kind of cool. Maybe there'll be other stuff that we'll see later on. Again, oh, interesting. There we go. Unraid, soon you will be able to boot from a drive. Okay. I thought I remembered seeing something about that, or maybe it was in chat. I don't know. All right, so we've got some unassigned disks. We got a couple of disks here. Oh, so let's do this. Let's create a pool. We're going to call this Rust. We're going to call it spinning Rust type. So we can do single multi-merger FS. I don't know. Devices. Single. Okay. Multi. Okay. So I can select both of those. I can do a RAID 0, 1, or 5. And we can choose a file system as ButterFS. All right. All right, so we can auto mount, which of course we'll want to do. We're going to format these because I don't know what's on them. They've been sitting in an old NAS that I haven't touched in a long time. We want to make them shared. Like I want to be able to use them. And for right now, I don't want to encrypt them. I think that's too far outside of what I want to do right now. Although, now that I think about it, let's not do this yet. Let's actually do these drives first. We're going to call this NVMe. Type is going to be multi-devices. We're just going to do the two 1 terabyte drives, just for the sake of what we're doing right now, because it'll be faster than trying to format the 6 terabyte drives, right? I think that's probably the better way to do that. Forsaken says, what are the RAID options? We can do RAID 0, 1, or 5 with our current configuration. I'm not sure that it's out yet, but you'll be able to do either. Okay. I think RAID 1 is fine, right? Oops, darn it. RAID 1. I want to make sure RAID 1, yeah, that's mirroring, basically. That's fine. I refreshed the page instead of NVMe drives. We're going to do multi, we're going to do RAID 1, right? That's fine. Auto mount, format, share, great. Our only file system in this case is Btrfs, which I'm good with. I actually like Btrfs. I've never had an issue with it. So I'm going to click create. Pool could not be created. At least one device is required. I thought I did that. Let's try NVMe drives, type multi RAID 1 devices. There we go. Right? We agree. I've selected 2 devices here, right? RAID 1, Btrfs, like that, create. There it goes. I thought I did. Apparently, I looked at them. I have that happen sometimes. When I've got multiple screens going on, I'll be looking over there and I'll click, and it's like, why didn't it click? And it's because my mouse was over here. All right, unassigned drives. All right. Yeah, I did it. You're right, Glenn. Thank you. Nilsson's here. Glad to have you, man. Thanks for stopping by. Good to see you. All right, so we've got our NVMe drives Btrfs mounted. So then let's create a share. Let's do an SMB share. That's the easiest way to do this. We're going to call this NVMe share, right? Our pool is going to be NVMe drives. The selected directory, I don't have that. Read, write, DB Tech. All right, I dig this. DB Tech, that's great. We can do guest okay. I don't mind that. Read only, nope. So this says selected directory here. But when I come in here, I don't see anything. Create. All right, so that worked. All right. Cataracts, usually white letters on dark mode. That's fair. Yeah, no, it's something that has come up a few times in comments, like on the videos that I've uploaded, where people talk about like, hey, it's really hard to read that with the dark mode. Red Velocity's got a great question. We're going to take a look at that, and maybe I can use that extra 500 gig drive for that here in a minute. What I want to do though is I want to go. We're going to do this. We're going to do 113. 3. I'm going to copy that just in case. We're going to give this. Let's see here. Delete, edit. Okay. Force root access, hide dot files. Oh, wait. All right. Now I did say guest was okay. Okay. KGIV says must allow you to create to select a specific folder to share if it exists or create shares. Right. Yeah, I'm curious about that. I'm going to log in as me. Okay. Can I then create a new folder? I can. Okay. So that worked. We're good. We're doing stuff here. Holy cow. All right, text file. Yep. Then let me also grab, I think we're getting somewhere, guys. This is actually really neat. Yeah, Windows decided guest is a no-go now, right? And it just accepted that. That's amazing. Look, it was a 17 meg file. It's not a huge deal. Let's see if I can find, that's 40 meg. Oh, here we go. Here's a file that is 300 megs. And it saturated that 250 or that 2.5 gig network. That is awesome. It makes me, yeah, right. For a second, it does give me Proxmox vibes. I agree with that. Okay, so let's come back to shares now and add an SMB, and let's look at our directory here. Oh, well, now all of a sudden it's got thoughts. Oh, let's do this, and there's that folder that we created via Windows. So that's the directory. I could share this directory specifically if I wanted to do that. So that's cool. I dig it. That was super easy. That was really, really easy. All right, let's go back to storage pools again. Let's create another storage pool. We're going to call this Spinning Rust. This is going to be multi. Our devices are going to be those two, right? We've selected those. We've got our RAID 1. That's fine. Our file system. I don't see any way to use that extra, this extra 500 gig drive as, I mean, maybe if I add it to that, format, shared. So I don't know. Can I? Let's see if I go over here. I can create a pool where I can format. I don't see disk caching as an option here. Let's try this again. Again, spinning. Oops. Rust. Type is going to be multi devices. We're just going to select these two. Yeah. So again, with RAID butter, that's fine. File, let's do all of that. Let's create. This may take a little longer again because, wow, it did not. Okay. So we agree with all of this. Auto mount. We can unmount a pool. We can delete a pool. That's all behind my stupid face. Hold on, guys. Let me, I apologize. Let me drag this idiot out of the way. So we can unmount the pool, we can delete the pool, we can spin up a pool, or we can spin down a pool. But again, I don't see any way in here to do any kind of caching with that extra thing. I also agree about the ZFS thing. It looks like right now the only file system available is Btrfs, but it is what it is. So shares, again, we can create a share, doing another SMB. We're going to call this Rust share. The pool will be spinning Rust. The directory is just going to be the root of that because that's what we have available at the moment. Read writes, this is fine. This is fine. Comment, don't care. Guest, okay, that's fine. We're going to create this. And then what I want to do is actually come back. And hey, look, there, right there is our spinning Rust share. So all of that works. That was dead simple. I dig the crap out of that. That's amazing. I really, really like that a lot. And you're probably right, Glenn. We've only gotten down to the shares. So we haven't looked at the hub, the plugins, the tools, the settings. I got real locked in on where we were creating pools and shares. Now that we've seen how that works, which is simple, and I love that. Really, really happy with that. Let's look at the hub. Okay, hub types not be loaded, no repositories downloaded, run update first. Interesting. Refresh. Close. Okay, interesting. So these are apps that we can quickly install. We've got AdGuard Home. The logout is the option for caching, right? Oh, hey. Oh, you brought me fancy tea.
Of course.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, this is the Arbor Red. Awesome. Thank you. The one thing, sorry, to go back, way back, when we were talking about tea earlier, because that makes a lot of sense here. All of the tea that the CloudyTree Tea sent me is loose leaf. So I've got my little floaty man steeping my tea for me, but that's still scalding hot. But that is the Arbor Red. We'll come back to that in a little while when it's not hot. Can I? Okay, so from right here, I can't install anything yet. Because I don't have, I'm willing to bet if I go to plugins, plugins will appear once installed. Okay, tools, settings. Okay, so virtualization dock. Okay, here we go. So we can update the system, the kernel. We can roll back kernel. This is great. System configuration. We can do users, systems, cron jobs, logs, hub. This is all for configuration. We've got virtualization here. So we can enable Docker LXCs or VMs here. Network interfaces, network services, boot sensors, ZRAM. Let's look sensors here. Do we have anything there? Create a sensor. Wow. Oops, let's come back. This is very cool. Let's click update. And okay. Alpha, beta, stable are our 3 update channels. There are releases here. So if I were to go to like beta, I'd be able to see the 1.6 beta, which is the one that we're on right now, or latest, whatever. So that's kind of cool as far as updating stuff is concerned. Our kernel update, kernel version, which is recommended, or some of these others. It looks like they've actually got a custom kernel, which is interesting. This again is based off of a version of Debian that does not have systemd on it. So that's if you're just jumping in, that's what's going on with MOS. Is that it's Devon, I think, is the name of the Debian fork that this is built on. So users, let's see, we've just got one user here. Let's edit this user. Okay, so just username, password, role. So admin or Samba only. We can create new users here with the same thing. Very basic. Devon, thank you. Appreciate that. Or Devuan? Is it Devuan? It's probably Devuan. So that's users system. Lifetime rate on one box, and it's just a mini tower Proxmox. So we can change our host name, our key map. If we needed to change that, I don't know what that is. Time zone. We need to change this. Can I type? I cannot type in there. Pacific. All right. America. Where is it? There's getting close. Hey, that's close enough for me. CPU governor. Do we want it to be in performance mode or power save mode? That's great. I love that we can choose what we want to do there. I kind of wish I had plugged. I've got one of those power monitor plugs or whatever. I wish I'd done that, but it's whatever. Global spin down 20 minutes. Persist history. Power save on. Power down 60 minutes. Timeout. Notification sounds. We can turn those on or off. Love that. We can enable swap file if we wanted to do that. Date and time is accurate. NTP mode, we can change that. We can add proxies for HTTP, HTTPS, or FTP. That's, the watt meter. Yeah, I've actually got one in a box back there somewhere. If I go over there, I'll get lost. So we're not going to do that right now. But that's under system. Let's go back a page. That's system configuration system. We can do cron jobs from here. Let's see how they handled their cron jobs. If this is enabled, schedule. Okay, so you got to manually type in the numbers and the stars and all of that sort of stuff, and then you can tell it what script you want to run. So that's cool. Again, if you guys, I think we talked about it in our last live stream. I'm not good with cron. I have to go into Google and say, hey, I want a cron job at this time. Power failure to test in the meter may be a good test. Oh, maybe. It might be. If I knew, I would if I didn't have to dig behind all of that crap to get to it. I absolutely would if it wasn't for that. But it's not a bad idea. I use AI to tell me the commands. Yeah, that's basically where I am. Logs. All right, we can, oops, that's cron logs. Let's look at boot logs. That's cool. So they've got all of their different logs categorized. I love that. Syslogs are here. That's great. This is actually, I'm really stoked on what they're doing here. And we haven't even gotten into like Docker or any of that stuff yet. MOS hub settings. Oh, hey. So apparently this is going to be the update schedule. So that's cool. I would advise that devs would at least make HTTPS out of the box. That's a good point. It doesn't appear to have a self-signed certificate on this. So there's definitely that I agree with. So there's that. Network interfaces. We just have the one, though I do have a second one that I could use if I wanted to. Enable DHCP on IPv4 or IPv6. That's cool. Type Ethernet, bridge bonded or Ethernet. There's that. Or we can click save down here. Network services. All right. Okay, here we go. So we've got some other stuff. So SSH is enabled. NFS is turned off by default, but we can turn that on if we want. We've got a NUT server running. We can turn that on. Remote mounting if we wanted to do that. Do you have a video on how to do HTTPS for Homelabs? And not for local only, I don't. Oh, no way. Bro. So they've got Tailscale and NetBird built in to this. This is amazing. So you can turn this on, update check, give it your parameters, which I guess would be your Tailscale key, or your whatever your access key is to connect. I would assume that NetBird would be the same here. That's crazy. I love that they've got this stuff built in by default. That's really, really neat. I dig that. I know Tailscale, but never heard of NetBird. So NetBird is kind of in the same vein as Tailscale. I've been kind of chatting with them behind the scenes for a while, and they're doing all kinds of new stuff. And there's some newer stuff coming down the pipe that I'm not going to talk about right now because I only know just enough to not know enough. And then token. Oh, so GitHub token or Docker Hub token, if you needed to put one of those in. That's great. Hardware, boot. Oh, okay, check this out. You can install to disk. That's great. So I could actually install this to disk as long as this works. I don't want to go down this rabbit hole just yet because I don't want to scrap everything, all the progress we've made. Or you can also edit the grub configuration file. That's great. I love that. Again, we looked at sensors. There's nothing extra in there. ZRAM. ZRAM enabled. Yeah, I don't have any ZRAM devices to be configured, so that's fine. We've also got thanks and about. So here are all of the software dependencies that were used for this. So love that they're giving that bit of information. That's great. And then about the team, we can see everybody here. We've got official channels for Discord, Reddit, and Twitter. That's awesome. GitHub, AGPL, that's good. Good stuff there. So now that we've done all of that, let's click Docker service. Okay, we'll just enable that. Was it really just that easy? And save. Was it really just that easy to get Docker running? By default, our directory is going to be on the NVMe drives, which is fine. But I think you could probably switch that over to the spinning Rust if you wanted to go that route as well. I'm fine with it being on these drives for the sake of what we're doing here. But but if we went into MNT, yeah, there's our spinning Rust. We could put it in there if we wanted to. Yeah, Vaz, I've actually thought about doing something like that, but I don't have the consistency in my brain to keep doing that kind of stuff. So Docker service is running. Our file system is overlaid to IPv LAN. We could also set up a Mac VLAN if we wanted to. That's great. Let's come back to here. Let's look at this. So LXC service, we can enable. VM service, again, we can enable with IOMMU active. We've got additional ISOs for Vert ISOs, so that's cool. We're not going to enable either of those for right now, but I do want to come over to here. Okay. We can add a container. We can add a Docker Compose. My stupid face is in the way again. Move me up here. So we can add a container, Docker Compose. We can create a Docker group, sort wait times, unused Docker images, check for updates, update all. I don't know if I'd want to quite go that route just yet. If we just click add Docker container, we can kind of fill in some information here. If we do like Docker Compose, we can drop a YAML in there with some environment variables, icon, and a web UI URL. Let's come back over to here though. And hey, look, now I have the ability to start installing some of this stuff. Interesting. Okay, this is what I wanted to see. So all Docker Compose or plugins. So this is not Open Media Vault. We may end up talking about Open Media Vault 8 later in upcoming videos or whatever. But right now we're talking about MOS, which is an acronym and a name simultaneously for Modular Operating System for Servers and Homelabs. So let's see. And I love, again, that we can do Docker, we can do Compose, or we can do plugins. So we can see what kind of plugins are available here. The UI does look a little similar. I agree with that. So we can install plugins for Intel GPU, for NVIDIA drivers. They've really done a really good job with this. Like, I'm really, really impressed with this. Let's go back to Docker. Cool. Let's just see. All right, here we go. So it kind of automatically filled in everything for us here. I don't know if it's putting it there. GPU, that's fine. Don't need any of that. Template, no. Can I save? Unable to find this locally. Let's see what happens. Okay, it's pulling. Okay, so we're going to close. Says that it's created. Let's auto start. Can we info? Oh, maybe. Okay, let's go dashboard. I want to see. So we've got our information here. Disks, fine. I like that we can also see how much we're using in here. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out. It says that it's created. Oh, there we go. Start. Failed to set up container networking. Okay. And I wondered about that. Edit. BRO. Bridge. That should have been bridge. Don't need a custom IP. Let's do this. Oops. On port 3000. That's how that should be. Create completed. So that should, theory, work. Address is already in use. So it also looks like MOS is using port 53 for DNS behind the scenes, which would make this obviously more difficult to use. So I'm definitely, we're going to come back over here to the MOS hub. We're going to find something different. Let's go back to plugins. Somebody mentioned something about open ZFS driver. So it looks like ZFS is an option. I don't want to go down that route, but it is a good question for maybe something to take a look at in a later video when this is maybe more fleshed out. That would have been kind of neat if I had gone farther down through this. So yeah, Glenn, you're right. ZFS is here, but we're not going to get into it just yet. Development says it's nice to see someone trying other OS, not constantly reviewing to death Unraid and TrueNAS. Nothing wrong with them. Yeah, like this just popped up. Posted newsletter. If you're not subscribed, you should be. Ethan does an amazing job every week of putting out a really great newsletter about what's going on in the home lab community. So, sound broke? Oh, really? It should be back. Good now. Weird. No idea. Like, all right. As long as we're good now, man, because my wireless dongle is plugged in there. If I have to, I've got a backup. I've got a backup in here that I can swap over to. So, don't know what happened there. Docker localhost access. Yep. This plugin allows Dockers in LAN networks to reach the host. Does this by creating. That wasn't helpful. Weird. Let's try a different Docker image here that we can spin up. Copy party is one I've been meaning to look at for a long time. Yeah, I don't know why it cut out. That's really strange. MB, web element. Oh, these are all, there's Home Assistant, Homer, Gotify, or iGotify, interesting. Jelly pie. Okay, so there's all kinds of stuff in here. Crusader. NVIDIA drivers, as thought I just said Docker. Weird. Did it switch? Because okay, I selected Docker that time. I go to page 2. Did that change? Maybe I just didn't click it like I thought I did. That has been a theme for today. No, plugins are back. That's weird. Okay, it's not just me. That's good. I'm glad to know that it's not just me. Plex, Pi-hole. Pi-hole's not going to work. Tell you what, can we search? Hello? Nope. Go to Fi. Oh, geez, go to Fi. Let's try installing Gotify. So it's going to do that. It's going to fill all of this in. We're going to do this. That'll be our web page URL. Custom IP bridge mode should be fine. There's also ETH0 and host if that doesn't work. All of this looks good. We're going to try this. Yeah, I was wondering about the pagination. It could be removing the filter. And again, look, we're still dealing with version 0.1.6 beta. So we got to cut them some slack. This is more than I'll ever accomplish in my lifetime as far as creating a piece of software. So they are kicking my butt all over the place. Okay, create completed. We'll click close. Gotify is running. Okay. Web UI. Interesting. 8681. Set that to auto start. Can we look at logs? Failed to determine the HTTPS port for the redirect. Does it need? All lists are empty, do nothing. You'll configure the Gotify server on the. Oh, this requires an app? That's weird. 113.8681. 113.8681. That should. Okay, we're not doing well here. Let's add a container. Repository. Nope. Hello. No. Hello. Is this just? Yeah, I was thinking that. Let's come back over to here. There's got to be something that we can install. Let's try this. Again, archive box, all of this is fine. Oops. I'm gonna put this on 8,000. Let's find, okay, that's fine. I wanted to make sure that we had this set up correctly down here as far as these ports are concerned. We're gonna click save. We're gonna see what happens here. I think you need that. If you're Jason, you may be 100% right. If this doesn't work, we'll go back and take a look at that Docker localhost access plugin. We're going to give this one more try just to see what happens. If that doesn't work, we'll go back, we'll install that plugin and see what happens. Looks like it's pulling a bunch of stuff. Pull complete. Oh, really? I'm dumb. Oh, hey, it's running. Can we do this? Web UI? Nope. We didn't need that because now this is working. Archive box, add. Interesting. Glenn, I tend to agree with that. I think it is kind of weird. They may have approached it differently for the back end of their operating system to make it work the way they need it to for that particular bit of functionality. That would be my assumption. Again, I'm very, very, You guys have got about as much experience with this as I do at this point. Let's go to page 4. So we've just got 4 pages here. That's fine. Can run a Valheim server from here. That's kind of fun. Let's install this Uptime Kuma. Big fan of that. Let's do port 3001. That's awesome. This all looks good. And of course, if I wanted to change, I would change it there on the host side instead of on the container side. So this is all going to be fine. But if I needed to use something else, I would change it here on host and here as well, and then it would be fine. Let's go ahead and click save. It's gonna pull all of this. Hopefully here in a second. Hopefully here in a second I won't close it early. Let's give this a try. This is the CloudyTree Tea Red. Oh, that's really nice. I will say she put some cream in this for me. We've had the red before, both with and without the cream. I like my hot tea with cream in it, so that's what she's put in there. So here is Uptime Kuma, Web UI. There we go. If we needed to, we would probably also install a MySQL database separate from this. We're just going to use the embedded Maria database. Again, we're just testing stuff out here. Setting up the database, please be patient. Cool. Create, and there we go. Let's add one real quick. Let's just add my website, techreviews.com. This should all be fine. I'm not going to set up notifications or anything right now. Added successfully, and it's up. So everything's working. That was pretty painless. One thing, oops, I'm on the wrong screen there. I think the one thing that I would add to this, if I were giving suggestions to the developers, if they were to ever see this, like right now, I can open this by clicking the icon and clicking Web UI. I feel like I would want this Web UI link. I should be able to just click the port number right there, whether it's 3001, 8000, 8681. It'd be nice if that was actually what you could click to open the application, rather than clicking here and then clicking here. Again, that's just a user interface thing that I think I would want to make a change to, but I don't. Again, I'm not a developer. I wouldn't even know where to begin with that in this. This is very Unraid-like. You do the same on Unraid. Okay. Click that icon. Click if like Unraid. Yeah. So is like Unraid. Yeah. I would like to see it over here, more like Portainer or something like that. So it's a single click versus a double click. Look, I understand that it's only one more click. Yeah, it's absolutely Portainer muscle memory. The other part of that is that, for a number of years, I built user interfaces for websites, right? And one of the things that we learned is that the more clicks that you make somebody click to get where they want to go, the more likely they are to back out. I understand that this is a user interface, but I've always been a big fan of remove extra clicks if you don't need them. So being able to just come over here and click the port rather than having the 2 clicks here. Again, maybe that's just preferential to me. I prefer 1 click versus 2. Again, I know we're talking mouse clicks here, but again, I spent so long building interfaces to get people where they wanted to be as quickly as possible with the fewest number of clicks that that's just kind of how my brain works. I do want to edit this though, because I want to see, so it does have a restart unless stopped policy. We haven't touched VMs or LXCs at all, Mental. So what I wanted to see was if this had an auto start. It's got extra parameters here of restart unless stopped, but I don't know how that actually plays into the auto start for these. I'm gonna delete iGotify. and AdGuard because MOS is using port 53 for DNS stuff. Forsaken said, when I first started using Unread, I had that same issue because you were using Portainer first. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's like the only change I would make here, at least so far, based on how we've done this. Everything I do gets into my Heimdall page, so I have a button press for every service I host. That's fair, and that may be their logic as well. Is that you'll probably have a dashboard. Let's actually come back over and look at this dashboard. I want to see what has changed here. Our temps are still running amazingly well, 34, 36 degrees. That's great. Our core's hanging out 5-6%. That's awesome. We're using 4 gigs of storage on our NVMe drives. We can see all of our temperatures over here on our disks. They're running nice and cool because it's got a fan. So the other thing I didn't mention on this, this front that looks like a guitar, like a practice amp or something, this is actually a filter. Like there's a fan on the other side that pulls air through that to keep your drives cool. I thought that was kind of a neat thing they did. Let's see. Yeah, so there's no additional information down here. This is fine. But I wanted to kind of see what was going on our homepage. Again, we can see how much storage we're using, which is still 0% effectively. Memory, we're up to almost 3 gigs of used memory. But here we can actually break that out. System is using 2.5 gigs. Docker is using 500 megs. Not too bad there. Really, really digging this. I think this is great. Disks, again, that's kind of where we are. Pools, that's their shares. MOS Hub or MOS Hub. Oh, you know what? Let's go to settings. Let's take a look at this, right? I think bridge mode should be fine. That should be fine. Let's save this. Okay, LXC service started. Cool. LXCs. Add an LXC distribution. Holy cow! All right. So this is our LXCs. Let's just do Alpine for the sake of doing that. This is fine. Let's do Alpine XC. Auto start after creation. Create. And this, we'll just kind of see what happens here running. Do we get a terminal? We do. Okay. And it pulled an IP address. Look at that. So this is an Alpine LXC. And it pulled an IP address right there. Let's try ping google.com. Pinging just fine. Let's go the other route. Let's do copy. Let's open a new one of these and ping. And we're pinging that LXC right there. So that was crazy easy to do. Genuinely shocked at how easy that was. Let's see. Distribution, Amazon Linux, Arch Linux, BusyBox, CentOS, Debian, release, Bookworm, architecture, AMD, fine. Let's do Debian LXC. Just see what happens here. Auto start after creation. Great, create. Let's see. Oh, I love this. It gives the distribution, it gives the CPU, it gives the memory, it gives the IP address. Dude, this is pretty good. This is kind of got me excited, guys. I'm shocked. IP config. Oops, sorry, it's IF config. Yep, 164. We agree. That's the same one. We do that. Nope. Do apt update. Okay, apt install htop. Fine. Oops. Htop. There we go. Now it is showing, that's interesting. It is showing the uptime of the host machine here. So technically LXCs aren't as secure as VMs because, like you said, LXCs use the host resources, including sharing part of the kernel or using the host kernel. So there are some security things to be aware of there. So that's just something to be aware of. Use at your own risk. Here, we'll do it again. We'll do this. We'll do name, distribution. Let's go back to Debian and the release. You can use whatever you want to use there as far as what's available. Bookworm, Bullseye, Forky, or Trixie. Again, we can do that. We can do Trixie, LXC, auto start of creation. Great. We'll give this a second to do its thing. So we'll give that just a second. There's our Trixie LXC with an IP address. LXCs should be run unprivileged. I agree. To edit config. So you can come in and you can edit. You can edit the config on this if you want to do that. That's good. Cancel that. Let's look at our terminal. Let's bring this over to here again. Let's do ifconfig. Cool. Apt update. Install htop. Htop. There we go. Again, it's showing the host uptime, not the LXC uptime, which is, I mean, whatever, I guess. But here we can kind of see what's going on there. That was super easy to set up. I will say that it doesn't appear that like if I grab, let's just do this, right? And Chimera architecture is fine. I don't see anywhere in here to change the LXC to run privileged or unprivileged. I don't see that in here, at least not by default. There may be something deeper in the configuration, or maybe it's coming down the pipe in a future update. But again, considering that this is such an early build of MOS, I'm thrilled. Oh, you can do that too. Good. I think they've done a really good job with this as far as everything that they've got built into it already. No plugins installed. Oh, you're right. I haven't. Docker. Yeah, we've got some stuff there. Interesting. I install. Okay, this plugin allows containers and LAN networks to reach the host. It does with creating a small back VLAN shim to interface. That's interesting. Don't actually need that, I don't think. Oh, ZFS plugin. We can take a look at that. That's fine. Can I do ZFS here? Hey, look, let's take a look at this. All right. Open ZFS driver for MOS, for MOS, whatever. I keep saying that wrong. So this is an early driver. 010 is the newest version. Created 1/2026, so very new. Plugin installation started. Downloading, installing. Okay, it's been downloaded successfully and it's been installed successfully, as we can see there. So we go to plugins. No ZFS pools found. Okay, we do still have a drive. We still have a drive available to us. Is there any breaking changes on roadmap? I know it's beta, but go ahead and just dig through their documentation, that sort of thing. They've got several different things available on both their website and their GitHub repositories where you can take a look at that. Let's create a pool out of this. It's going to be single. Okay. Cancel. Let's come back to plugins, right? I want to make sure ZFS driver, no ZFS pools found. Okay, let's create a new pool. I see XFS, but I don't see ZFS. That's interesting. Format shared. Try Arch, see what version they got in VMs. We haven't installed the VM functionality just yet, but we'll take a look at that here in a second. I wonder if you have to do multi, maybe multi. Nope. Yeah, I just see ButterFS in here. I just see RAID 0, 1, and 5 there still. ext4 XFS. ZFS does a lot with RAM and stores a lot of its information in RAM for quicker access, I believe, is kind of the biggest perk. So as your ZFS pools get bigger, you need more RAM to back them up, or not to back them up as far as like data backups, but as far as supporting them. There's a lot of different opinions and theories on there as far as how much RAM you need per terabyte of hard drive space. People have got lots of different opinions on it, and I'm not one of them. A little slurpy there. All right, so we do that. XFS. Right, I want to see what XFS. Oops, XFS. I don't know why I had that M. XFS versus ZFS. Let's do that. XFS is a high-performing journaling file system optimized for large files and easy capacity expansion, ideal for workstations and media servers. ZFS is a comprehensive enterprise-grade volume manager and file system with built-in RAID compression, self-healing data integrity, and instant snapshots, best for data protection and high-capacity storage. It's entirely possible that it wants 2 drives minimum. I don't know. We'll have to give this another look later on down the road at some point. Let's go back to settings. Let's take a look at VMs. Sure, don't really care. Let's enable that. Let's save that. We'll get this enabled. Maybe ZFS isn't implemented in the web UI yet. And that's kind of what I was wondering as well. If it's something that they're working on as far as getting the plugin to work, and maybe there's a different like alpha build in the background that they've got where that might be available that they're still testing. Again, I haven't talked to these guys. They don't know that I'm doing this video unless they're watching and being very quiet in the chat. There's been no discussion. I've said nothing to them. You can create a new share and see if you can type a directory. Let's see here. Let's create a VM. All right, so we can go up to 7 gigs. So ZFS is a file system that has RAID built into it. That's a lot to get into in in this live stream. Okay, so we can pin cores. I dig that. We can go up to 7 gigs of available storage here. Oh, here we go. Arch Linux. Oh, that's just for the archive or the icon. Disks. We can add a disk. Let's see, what do we have available here? Path does not exist. Interesting. CD-ROM, add adapter, VNC, host devices, USB devices. Collins finally made it after 2.5 hours. No, I'm kidding. I'm glad to have you here, man. We had a lot of fun. We're still working. We're still checking out MOS. We had a lot of fun getting it to work. Did some hardware troubleshooting, that sort of thing, before we finally got it up and running. And Nighthawk is here as well. Let's see. Got the family coming over for tomorrow for number 3's birthday. Well, happy birthday to number 3. Nighthawk, glad to have you here as well, as per usual. Always good to see you guys. Totally spaced on joining today. That's fair. Yeah, Lawrence System, dude knows ZFS. But let's see. I don't see add disks. We can remove disks. Yeah, I don't really see. We've got machine type. We've got our version. That's fine. BIOS type, which is fine. I don't see. Oh, hey, here's where we can do pass-throughs. That's cool. Bridge device VGA, so we can pass through our onboard graphics. That's neat. I dig the crap out of that. USB devices we can add here. Brennan, you're not far off. This is linked in the video description if you want to check it out. This is based on Devuan, which is a fork of Debian that doesn't have systemd as a service. So that's taken out for security reasons. So it's kind of a new thing that's still very early in development. As we talked about earlier, this is still version 0.1.6-beta. So this is still very, very early release. In fact, I think the earliest release, let's go back, goes back to September, was with the 0.0.1 alpha. So 4 months, give or take, that this has been out. This popped up on the Self-Host newsletter, and I wanted to see what it did, and I thought I'd bring you guys along for the ride. So super, super happy to have you guys here. The software has big potential. I'll keep an eye on it. Same with Pangolin. Now we can observe how the community grows. Exactly right, man. That's kind of why I like to get in early on some of this software when it's early beta stuff. In fact, I think there's going to be more Pangolin content coming here soon as well. They actually sent me an email the other day just to chat and mentioned that they've got some cool new stuff going on. So I guess we're not going to do anything with VMs at the moment. I don't see. I need to add an adapter. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know that this is quite where we want it yet. Sven, thank you so much for renewing your membership there. Super appreciate that. Always love to see that kind of stuff. You guys are awesome, and I appreciate you. So this, again, for those of you who are just jumping in now, this is what the dashboard looks like. There's other stuff down here that you can turn some of this other stuff off, like so. We can leave the rest of that and click save, and there we go. There's an updated version of our dashboard. We've been up for about an hour. We've got some of this. Here's the different notifications that we saw. Here's where we were troubleshooting. Glenn, dude, thank you so much. That was really nice. Thank you for the gifting 5 memberships. Really appreciate that. There's different notifications here for some things that we've installed. I think it's interesting that it's only giving us certain notifications here. Like we installed Docker, we installed LXC, we installed VMs, though none of those are showing in here. It's just showing an unclean shutdown and some plugin installations. So hopefully the notifications will grow as far as what is available there. Oops, whoa, what was that? Oh, docs. That's what happens when I click right there. I would hold off. This is barely out of alpha. Yeah, no, this is not meant for. I wouldn't put this in production yet. We're just testing the software because I wanted to test the software, but I also wanted to test the hardware that we put it on, and kind of dig into that and kind of see how that went. So far, real happy with how this is going. Let's see what else we have up here. Oh, okay, dark mode. Let's see. Oof, sorry guys. I should have warned you. That was light mode for a brief second there. Again, we can change the some of this stuff. English for the language, the byte type, the UI or the UI session expiration time in days. I like that you can change that. And then the UI color. I don't know what this is actually for. I haven't seen. Let's change. Oh, I see. I had this light blue selected, but it stayed the green when we went through the setup process. That's weird. Sorry about that, guys. The hardware that I'm using is the B-Link ME Pro. It's sorry for the bright screen. There it is. It's very small. Like it's very, very small. This is accurate. Speak louder, I'm blind, right? So this is the device that we're using. There's the front and the back. It's got a 2.5 gig and a 5 gig Ethernet port on it. It's got HDMI. It's got 4 USB ports on it and a barrel jack. It supports 2 3.5-inch drives and 3 NVMe drives. So that's what it's loaded up with. That's the hardware we put it on. This is the N95 version with 12 gigs of soldered LPDDR5 running at like 4,800 megatransfers per second. It's either 48 or 32. I don't remember. So anyway, that's the hardware. Again, we're looking at the MOS software here. We took a look. These are the drives that are in there. We've got 3 NVMe drives. Originally, when we went through the process, I thought that we were going to use the USB drive to do the installation process onto another drive, but this is very much like Unraid, where at least for the time being, it does boot from the USB. Now that said, if we come to settings, there was something in here where we go to boot, and we can install this to disk if you wanted to go that route. I haven't gone that route because everything is working and I don't want to break anything. So that's where we are currently. Go to shares. I want to see if we go to shares, it's at an SMB share, select a directory. Yeah, this doesn't give us, let's grab this, select a directory. Yeah, this doesn't actually give us the option to create a directory in here, which is, I guess, another thing that I would add to this. Like I think if I were to come over, oops, let's go to here. Let's go to Rust. Let's just create Rust share. Sure, why not? And we'll come back to this. We'll do a refresh. There's our Rust share. Oops, go up a directory, select that. So now that Rust share is our shared directory. So can we do it here? Oh, wow. Okay. None of that matters. Interesting. So there definitely, that is one thing I would add to this, is when you go into here to select your directory, it would be nice to have the ability to create a directory right here. I think that's a must-have for this. Yeah, there we go. Click create. Oops, share name required. Rust share. Create. There we go. I mean, maybe if we go to pools. So this is our spinning Rust pool. Auto mount, unmount, delete, spin up, spin down. Yeah, there's nothing here to give us that right now. Can you create in pools or disks? So we're in pools here. This is our spinning Rust. I wish I could like shrink these down, like click it and like do the accordion thing with it. No, like you unmount, delete, spin up, spin down. I wonder if this would survive a reboot. I mean, close. Should be a file browser. Yeah. And then, we'll go back to disks. So we're using these 2 7 terabyte or 8 terabyte drives. Again, sleep, wake up, or format are our only options there. Yeah, so at this point, there is no file browser built into it, and there's no way from the shares creation thing here to create a directory inside of a share, or when you're creating a share. No way to do that currently. Again, super early development. I'm sure it's on the roadmap. I haven't actually looked at the roadmap. Can you SSH in? I mean, probably SSH, oops. root at 192.168.0.113. Yep. And then do like CD and MNT. So we've got NVMe drives and spinning Rust. Let's do that. We're in spinning Rust. There's our Rust share. We do mkdir SSH share. Okay, so we've created the share. Under tools, it might be a file browser. Maybe. Give me just a second here. We're going to create an SMB share. This is going to be spinning Rust. Right there is the SSH share that I created in we SSH'd in. We'll select that. Cool. Okay, so we know we can do it that way. Let's look at tools. Power management tool, file browser, MNT. Yeah, so here's our file manager, but still no way to create a folder in here or a file or anything else, it appears. We can refresh, we can go up a level, we can go home, but no way. It's just spinning Rust, nothing in here, nope. So yeah, no, you're a good call on jumping into the tools to find the file browser. However, there is no way to create anything there. That said, again, we can do a CD into MNT, and right there, let's do CD into spinning Rust. Yeah, so then we can do like mkdir terminal share, and then an ls. And there's our terminal share. So we come back to shares and do create SMB, and then select our pool, which again is spinning Rust. Then we've got our terminal share there. So there are ways that we can do this, just not through the GUI itself. Yeah, exactly. It can be done if only via the command line. The other way, again, is to come over to here. Let's refresh. And again, we can create them if we jump into that share via Windows. We can also create them there. So there are ways to do it, just not as many ways in the GUI as we would like when we're creating those shares. So file browser plugin. Yeah. So oops. Oh, that's not what I wanted. So file browser is actually right there in the tools. It's already there. But I guess we can come over to our hub file. Browser. Let's see. No file browser plugin. Crusader. Let's try it through Crusader. That's an interesting idea as well. Let's grab this. Let's deploy Crusader and see what happens. This is on port 8080. Oops. 8080. It's fine. Template's fine. Name is fine. Bridge, fine. Oh, this looks fine. Cool. Let's save that. Let's pull this. You might be able to add the ZFS shares through the terminal then. I don't know. Maybe. Again, at this point, we're not trying to see how far we can push it just yet, because again, this is still super, super early beta. And I just wanted to kind of see what kind of fun stuff we can do with it, so that at some point in the future, when we come back and take a look at it, we'll have a better idea of how far it's come. So we're opening Crusader. Let's see what happens here. Okay. Great. Interesting. Yeah, fine. It's early. Hoping they're watching this so they can see what people want. That's an interesting idea as well. Has been changed. Do you want to apply the changes? No, I don't want to do that. Close. Okay, so here we go. 900 gigs. Let's see, are we here? We're mount, MNT. Interesting. So I think it's not going to show me anything because because I didn't deliberately mount those directories. Yeah, so it's only mounted the cache file. If I wanted to mount additional things in there, I would actually have to create additional mount points for this. Yes, we're mounted mnt/cache. So not. I don't think that this is going to be a good representation of this. Yeah, I can create folders here. I just don't think this is a good representation of how to do what we're shooting for here. But it looks like this may also be an option as well. Interesting. All right. Well, that's something anyway. Oh man. All right. What else we got? What else we want to take a look at here? I'm really excited about this. I think this is, you needed root. Yeah. I probably could have mounted that in this. If I did this, I probably could have done that and done that. Work if you set it up through the pools mounted. Yeah. Let's just do that. Let's save that and we'll redeploy it this way. Okay, create completed. And then let's reopen this and see what this gives us. Give it a second. MNT. Yeah, here we go. So then we've got our spinning. Yeah. So I was able to take off the cache on that. And then from here, I think we can create, this is on NVMe drives, spinning Rust. Yeah. Create new folder. We'll call this Crusader share, right? Oh, can't make the folder. Interesting. So it can't do that. But again, it's probably just because I'm just futzing around with the Docker container there, and that's fine. I'm not super worried about that at this point. Probably some permissions issues in here that I could change. I could probably put it as privileged, and that would work. Yeah. What happens if you reboot? Yeah, that's a good question. Let's find out. That is one thing that we also need to change. It could be a possible alternative to Proxmox at some point. With this being so early in development, I probably wouldn't risk it just yet. But they've done a lot of really, really good stuff so far that I'm happy with. So yeah, let's see what happens if we reboot. That's a good question. Oh, that's that. Oops, log out. Settings. Good to keep an eye on. Yeah, agreed with that. Is there a way here to reboot? Dashboard. We've got to look. Here's the thing. I think at this point it's still too early, and that's not me like trying to dog on them or anything. It's just it's so early in the development that I don't know that I would want to. I don't know that I want to trust this as my primary until it's got some more legs under it, so to speak. Okay, there doesn't. What happens if we do here? Log out. Okay, your private NAS. That's fine. Right. Okay, so that's fine. User system. I don't see any way from here to reboot. That's interesting. Dashboard. Maybe here. No, that's just for the dashboard. The dashboard's very Open Media Vault esque. Okay, I don't. All right. Well, we're going to do this way then, because we're logged in as root. We're on the system. Maybe it won't work, so they didn't put in a reboot. Maybe reboot. Oh, reboot now. Oh, okay. All right, so it wants more. Top right icon. No, I tried that. Reboot now. Shut down all network interfaces, pass message from user to reboot process. I've never actually seen this before. Can somebody point me in the right direction? Because I'm definitely curious which of these, I guess maybe just -m reboot test. Oh, do I need to wrap that in brackets? Okay. Reboot halt -p. Let's try reboot now, please. Right. Reboot now. F. Halt -p maybe. That seemed to work. We heard it do its little thing there. Okay. So jumping back over to TinyPilot here, it is shutting some things down. What I want to do though, because of the way we got in here last time, I actually need to change the first boot option to be the USB drive, because I told it I kind of did a workaround in that. So hopefully, oh, that was just shut down. Okay, well, I do like that it plays music for me to let me know what it's doing. Oh, except that was loud. Just tap and delete here so that it will. There we go. I'm going to change our boot option 1 to be the USB device. That's what we're after here. We're going to say save and exit and say yes. Create a boot, choose a boot option. We want to do that. Let's see what happens. I'm genuinely curious about this to see how much of all of our efforts are still available to us. And maybe then we'll try to install it to that 500 gig drive and just see what happens. Maybe that'd be a fun way to wrap this up. What's this? It's definitely thinking. I don't. Oh, I say. Of course, I say that. So I don't think it should auto detect USB as only boot. One would think. Okay, so we've still got the same IP. That's good. Okay. All right. Now, let's see. We're good. Everything is still there. Check that out. Let's log out and log back in just because it's not there. Let's log out. Yeah, I do still have Windows on that drive. DB Tech. Password. That looks good. Disks, everything is there. Shares, everything is there. Pools. Okay, that all worked. That's really good. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go to settings. We're going to go to boot. We're going to install the disk. We're going to select our 500 gig drive. I think ext4 is probably just fine, right? Transfer USB data to disk device and click install. Cool. Let's see what happens. This is. Yeah, no, I'm super stoked. Like, I think they've done a really, really good job on this. Installation successful. Please make sure to reboot the installation. Cool. All right. So do this. Right. And okay, so it didn't store my previously last Alt-P. Giving that a second. In theory, let's jump back over to the TinyPilot. It's stopping our services. Oh, I agree that it's overkill with that, but it was the one drive that I had available. I guess I got a 256 I could have used. So way overkill, I agree. All right. here is our little USB here that we were booting from. We're still there. That's good. We're going to change to that. Then we're going to jump back in to our BIOS real quick, and we're going to switch our first boot device to be our 400 gig or 500 gig, whatever, drive as our primary. There we go. There we go. Boot. UEFI OS. I think that's it. Yeah, that CT500 is a 500 gig drive. Cool. Let's do that. Save and exit. Yes. Check it out. I think we're good, guys. I think that all worked exactly how we wanted it to work. We're going to give this a second to do its thing for loading all of the stuff that it needs to load. Cool. Wow, that actually worked. I've been getting a lot of spam emails from some service that's like they're phishing emails trying to get me to sign up so they can try to take my YouTube account. And I reported them to the service that they're using, and it actually works. So we're going to give this a second. It's doing things. That's good. I agree, Forsaken. That boot switch was pretty painless. Yeah, it really, really was. We've still got the same IP address. We're starting services here. It's singing to us back there. There's our login. Let's refresh. We're going to log out and log back in. I did that last time too. Just want to make sure. We're going to refresh that a couple of times. That all looks so good. And then disks, everything is there except for the USB that we pulled out. That's good. Our pools are there. Our shares are still there. Let's jump over to here. Let's go back, a directory, NVMe share. Let's drag something else over there. Let me find, I don't want to do that. Oh, excuse me, geez. Let's find a bigger file. Okay, this file is a gig. We're going to drag that over. We're saturating our 2.5 gig network there. That's awesome. And that's on the NVMe share. So let's go to our Rust share. Let's do that same thing. Let's drag that over. And again, we're still saturating that 2.5 gig share. That's awesome. That's so good. I'm really, really excited about what they're doing with this. Let's put it in production, right? Dude, I am so happy with this first look at MOS. I didn't think it was going to be this good. And I know that sounds like a pessimistic, almost derogatory thing to say, but with it being such an early beta release, I didn't expect it to be this good. I genuinely didn't. So wanted to see, somebody asked earlier if Christoph here with his username had done work with like Unraid, and it looks like he's done some work on the Unraid kernel, or at least some version of it. That was a couple of years ago. We've got an Unraid NVIDIA driver that was also a little while ago. But yeah, he's got contributions over here. That's on Unraid. Yeah, like the dude is good at what he does. I will give him that. Like really, really stoked. And of course, it's not just him, right? There are other people as contributors. Once we can do this, yeah, there are other people contributing here. But of course, this is his repository from what I'm seeing for most of this. I'm really, really excited about what MOS might end up being. Yeah, you can share any folder on any drive, which, yeah, worked out great. I agree. Yeah, H777 is all over the place. Dude's big part of the open source community, it looks like, and I think that's great. And I think that he's found something that he's good at, and is sharing that with the community, and I love that. I'm not a developer in any capacity like they've got going on here, but I give back by trying to share these projects with the community as well. And so you guys are contributing by watching and sharing my videos, and I think it's very cool that we can all be part of the open source community, the home lab community, where they overlap. I think this is very cool. I'm really, really excited about MOS. I kind of came into this live stream kind of thinking that we'd be at this for 10 or 15 minutes. Something wouldn't work, and if you guys hadn't redirected me to download the right files, it wouldn't have worked. So big shout out to you guys for saying no, definitely download that other thing. But so if you guys hadn't done that, this would have ended much sooner. So again, thank you guys for pointing me to the right files to download and move over under assets instead of over in the releases. If you're just jumping in now, like this says download this. But if you do that, then it just takes you over to the source code page. But instead, you actually need to go open up assets below this. Well, this isn't right. We need to actually go to the newest version here. So assets under the release here, and download this file. Don't follow what it says right here, because if you do this, it takes you here. It's kind of a mess. Download this file. This should link to that, not this other page. But once we got that, we were good to go. Everything booted up exactly as we would have expected it to. The install process, going through each of the different pages, creating pools and shares, while there are still some shortcomings in some of those processes. Again, this is such an early release that I'm not even mad about it. I think this has got a lot of opportunity to be a big player in the community once we hit a stable release. I think this is definitely something to keep an eye on. If I was logged in, I would give it the stars and the likes and all of that sort of thing. But I'm really, really excited about what they're doing with this. And I look forward to continuing to look at new versions as they come along. If we come over to our desktop here, go to settings and update, I would definitely stick in the beta, because I don't know that there is no stable release. So I would probably stick to the beta. I wonder, let's look at alpha real quick. 0065. And then in beta, there is 016 beta. Yeah, I would probably stick with the beta channel, at least for right now, to continue to get updates and that sort of thing, just to watch it grow. It seems like everything that was lacking in the GUI was doable through command line. And what I also love is the command line is available both via SSHing in via like the command prompt, or if I could find it over here under tools, web terminal, being able to do it from right here as well. So you could do like apt update, right? Warning, usage of apt in MOS is discouraged. Do you want to continue? No, I'm gonna honor their request, and I'm not gonna do that, but you could create shares and directories and edit things and have full access to everything from the built-in terminal emulator in the tools. And I think that's amazing. I think they've done a really, really good job with this. And I'm excited to keep tabs on it and see how much it continues to grow. I may reach out to them. I can see where you'd break things with apt. Yeah. But I may reach out to them and just have a conversation with them via email, and just let them know, like, hey, look, we did this live stream. It went beyond what I expected, and see if they want to chat. So Yeah, I'm so thrilled with how well this went, and I'm super thrilled with how many of you guys decided to stop by and hang out for a while. Um, that's been really cool. I think, yeah, today was easily the largest number of concurrent viewers we've ever had in a live stream. It peaked at 100, which is I think which I think is the biggest number we've ever had here on a live stream. So, Quiet Association says, "Hey DB and chat, am I late to the party?" You are. I'm actually getting ready to wrap this up after 3 hours. I'm super excited. I encourage you to go back and rewatch this, even if you skip through to where we actually got it to work. I encourage you to go through and rewatch this because this went better than I could have ever hoped it would, in large part to you guys pointing me in the right direction. But yeah, I'm super excited about MOS. I'm super excited to see where it goes. And hopefully I'll be able to take you guys along that ride with me as we do more updates and that sort of thing. But yeah, I think I'm going to wrap this up. The tea has been helpful, but I can feel it. 3 hours we've been at this, and again, super excited to have done this. I want to thank everybody who either joined as a member, who donated memberships. Those things help me out quite a bit. You can also become a patron if you want to go that route. Of course, you don't have to. And I've got merch that you can probably find somewhere if you want to do that. Again, thank you guys for hanging out with me during this and taking this little journey with MOS, or journey of MOS with me. It's been exciting. Again, so thank you. I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll chat again here real soon.